But I think we can take it back to Mr. Sekhri. Mr. Sekhri, we completely lost your audio there, but you were talking about as to how US imposing up to 245% tariff on Chinese textiles and whether or not Indian exporters are actually geared up to step in.
Yeah, okay, good morning again, and thanks again for having me on your show. Yeah, what I was saying was that, what has happened in the last over the last 2-3 weeks really does not make much business sense, because the tariffs that have been imposed on China are going to deprive the U.S. consumer industry a lot of product which they do not have a replacement source for. So where do they go for this production? How can they find a replacement source so quickly? So in that sense, I believe that this is not really, what's happened is not really sustainable over a period of time. And we'll have to see what happens, what the US work does in the next 90 days. But definitely, what is happening in the short term is that Chinese are looking for replacement, for alternate buyers, sorry. The US buyers are looking for alternate sources in the short term. And that's why a lot of business will move to India. Now, whether if that business moves to India beyond the 90 days is yet to be, it's still unknown, because we really don't know what's going to happen after 90 days.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Sekhri. This is Shrishti also joining in. But within textiles, help us understand, is there any particular segment which is expected to gain the most, or rather, like you are highlighting that in the last 2 weeks, we are getting to hear some more inquiries. There has been an inch up. So within textile, maybe it fabrics, the man-made ups, the yarn or the man-made fiber, any particular segment that is getting the most of the traction?
Well, in the apparel sector, see, I think across the board, we're getting a lot of inquiries, be it cotton or man-made. It's just that, apparel is in short supply now. So, and fortunately, Indian manufacturers are passing through that lean phase that we call, because India product is more spring-summer driven product. We do not have much of fall because of the lack of fabric availability. So this period of April to September is considered to be a kind of lean period for Indian manufacturers, Indian exporters. And that is where, I think Indian manufacturers can capitalize on the situation that is the China situation. And like I said, we are getting a lot of business inquiries, not only for apparel, but even for products which are not really, which India has not been doing. For instance, toys is one product where India was very strong in the 1980s, but then this entire business moved to China over the last 2-3 decades. And now, see, a lot of buyers from the US, they are coming to India looking for that product, because India does have the expertise to make that product, but somehow the production facilities that we had are no longer there. But I think it's very easy, quickly, they can be ramped up very quickly. But I must say that this window that we have, window of opportunity, if you want to call it that, is just this 90 days, because what's going to happen after 90 days, we really don't know. So the orders that are moving to India now, or the inquiries that we are receiving, are for deliveries for the next 3 months. After that, it's still a little iffy whether those orders will continue to come here or not. All depends on what happens after 90 days.
Right, definitely. And that's what everyone's watching for, given the fact that this window of opportunity, whether it's only 90 days and how it actually progresses from here on, sir. But Mr. Sekhri, you did mention the fact that you are seeing a rise in inquiries, not just for textile, but other domains as well, where India once upon a time had some sort of dominance. But I wanted to understand, despite these rising inquiries, is price competitiveness still a concern when you are actually comparing it to the pre-tariff Chinese rates?
Yeah, okay. See, first of all, without the tariffs, obviously, we're not going to be competitive. We cannot compete with China, where their production efficiency is much better. And there are other factors that, make their product, the cost of production much lower. So if you compare apples to apples, yes, we have a problem. But then today is a scenario, we are in a situation where with this 245% tariff on China product, definitely India has a big bargaining chip at that. So I think the orders that move to India, I mean, we're still on the costing stage and we haven't really, I mean, I'm talking about the product which is not really India's product. I mentioned toys, for instance. So that is a product where we have to see, how we compete with the prices that were, because these orders are moving from China. It's not as if new orders are being placed. So it is yet to see whether the importer will be willing to give a higher price for the product that he was getting in China. So that is under negotiation, and I believe because of this 245% tariff, the importer may give up a little slightly better price than they were getting from China.
Right. So MSME exporters, they're usually quiet during the April to September period. Tell me, how are they preparing to utilize this unexpected lean season for demand?
Well, first of all, you see, the MSMEs are, they do not have the kind of wherewithal to really, attract buyers. Buyers are actually going to established manufacturers. When I say established manufacturers, those who are already exporting to these markets or these retailers. So they are the ones being approached. If they are not going to, because the window is too short, there is, if you are not already exporting to a particular retailer, then that compliance process and vendorization and onboarding process is pretty long. So I don't think the MSMEs are going to really gain much unless they are already registered and already on the vendor matrix of these the buyers. Only those people are going to, or those manufacturers are going to gain from this.
All right, Mr. Sekhri, with this, we let you go on that note. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us and giving us a sense that off late in the last 2 weeks, how are we seeing the textile industry shaping up and what kind of an order inflows we are getting at this point in time.